Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I hope you all had a fabulous day so far. We are live once again with a very interesting topic today. We're actually kind of doing a bit of a reflection on 2025, and we're going to look at the lessons that have been learned. And Emily from SourceWhale, who I'm going to introduce you to any second, is going to tell us about what they've seen from their clients who have been scaling, automating, and trying to do everything in a slightly smarter way. And I know we've got lots of some really good data points and some insights that we've both seen to move things along. So without any further ado, let me quickly give you a brief introduction. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Holly Langley, and I'm the founder and CEO of Restack. We've been going for just over 2.5 years, and our purpose is to help companies use their technology better. We mainly work within the Bullhorn ecosystem, and that can include partners like the guys at SourceWhale or anything from automation and analytics right within Bullhorn. We've got a team of 5 amazing people, and we work with clients all over the world to kind of just improve what they're doing and really understand how they can make some changes to engage their candidates. And a lot of that, as we know, comes from outreach. I've known Emily for a long time, and Emily is a fantastic TikToker, and she has some amazing TikTok content. I used to do some, and I haven't done as much recently, but my goal for the next year is to get back on that bandwagon. And so I've known Emily for a while from that, and obviously in her time at SourceWhale as well. So Emily, come and introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. Can't wait to see you back on TikTok, Holly. We've missed you. But hi guys, I'm Emily. I'm a senior account manager over at SourceWhale. So really helping the guys, anyone who joins us, like get trained up on SourceWhale, really understand how it can make them more productive and actually get the best they possibly can out of using a productivity system. And before this, I was doing a lot more of the training side of things. And before that, I was using SourceWhale every day to do my own outreach. So very, very familiar with it. But yeah, it really ties into what you guys do as well in terms of making the most out of your tech.
And I think that is so important. And which kind of weirdly brings us onto kind of the first topic of conversation is, what have we learned from the last year? Now, one of my key takeaways that I've learned both in our business and alongside our clients is that the implementation of this stuff is the beginning. And I think sometimes people will get a product, they'll implement a new outreach campaign, they'll implement a new strategy within their system, and they'll go like, tick, it's done, next. And it doesn't work like that, because what happens, as you've just said, is people need time to adjust to these new things, and they need that continual kind of element post-implementation to make sure this stuff works. Like, recruiters are some of the busiest people I know, and we can't just implement stuff and assume it's going to work. So one of my key takeaways is that we need to make sure that every bit of tech that we implement, or every process or every bit of change, has a clear structure, maybe for the first 3 to 6 months, to make sure it really is embedded. And I really believe, as we actually are a SourceWhale customer as well, and I think that that's one of the things that you guys have done incredibly well from a customer success, account management point of view, learning and development. People, like, there's no excuse. They've got so many resources to maximize these products, which I think is really valuable.
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of just go, yes, when someone in the sales process is like, so what's your implementation journey like? What's your support like? Because that to us indicates they're going to lean on us. So as a business, we invest a lot in our technical support, our client support, for that very reason. And we also want to show you how the product works, but we also want to like give advice so you can maximize it as well. Like, I can show you how to set up a campaign, no problem, but the actual strategy to reach out to these clients, reach out to these candidates changes all the time. And every single day, what I do is look at campaigns, look at strategy, look at everything that we do at SourceWhale and how everyone else uses it to really get to share that. And yeah, it's good when you guys are asking straight away, so how will you support us? Of course, we're going to help you with that.
and that's the thing. And like, just because the teams or companies have said, right, we can implement it, here's your first training session, you need to do X, which we'll find out in a minute, how many step campaigns should we do? That doesn't mean your team are necessarily going to do it. So you need to make sure that follow-up and that consistency is there. And that is, for me, one of the key lessons from 2025. That's one of mine. Emily, what else have you seen over this year that you kind of want to share with people, so we can either keep doing what we're doing or make some changes going into next year?
Yeah, so a couple of things. Definitely the support side, like anyone you use as a supplier, that is baked into the cost is your support. So reach out to them. You'll have a customer success manager, account manager. Please like reach out to them, make sure you're getting the most value. And also the other functionality that product offers. So we have really expanded what we do this year. We've got like a note taker, a data refresh system, so many things that can save you like time. Like you just mentioned, recruiters are part of the busiest people that I know. Having different like functionality you might already be paying for, how it can save you time and money, like reach out, have that conversation if you haven't already. And then a side note, but really key point is deliverability. And again, the tech that you use might be able to help you with this, but I've had a lot of conversations about people going into spam this year. I think the spam filters have changed quite a lot. So again, talk to your technology providers, like see how they can help you if you do have a problem like that. Like I'm sure, hopefully there's a way that they can help. If not, you need to go shopping.
I think there are 3 really good points, and I think you're right on the support thing. Like, no matter what tech stack you have, no matter who your CRM is, no matter how many products you have, people, they're there to help you. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, you pay for that, so maximize what you've got, without a doubt. Then regarding the email deliverability, yeah, you're totally right. Like, I'm not a I have half a GCSE in IT, which is amazing because I can now run a consultancy that deals with tech, but that's a story for another day. Um, but the main thing is like this stuff is getting delivered. Otherwise, what's what's the point of it, right? You want to get responses, you want people to take action. We actually have an in-house email deliverability expert. So if you are struggling and if you're not sure, feel free to message us, and we're more than happy to come on a call and help you and make sure everything has got set up. But it happened to me. Like when I first when I first set up the business, I was like, right, well, I can do this on my own. And we created the domain, and our domain is .uk, so it's okay, but it's not particularly like safe. And I just started sending out loads of emails because I was desperate and I had no idea what I was doing from a sales point of view. And that loads of them went into junk, and I couldn't work out why. But after a few weeks and months, we got there, and it's now not an issue. But we still have to monitor it, and make sure that stuff is going and getting landed in the right place. And not only that, make sure your system is up to date, because you don't want to be emailing people who left 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So do make sure that from an email delivery point of view, it's going into the right place if you're at the right time. Speak to your IT teams, speak to any of the suppliers. If you've got stuff from a SourceWhale perspective that isn't quite working, speak to customer success. They will look into it and they'll be able to do a bit of a diagnosis, I suppose, on what's going on, which I think is really, really important. And remind me, what was your second point?
My second point was seeing if the tech that you're already paying for can help you in other ways.
That was it. So one of the things that I've seen a lot in the last 2 years, and I had this conversation with one of our live clients a few weeks ago. They went, "Holly, I need a note taker," and I went, "Okay, well you've got SourceWhale already," and they were like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Okay," and they were like, "But should we not get something else?" And I was like, "No, just stick to one supplier. Like, our lives are already complicated enough. If the product works, the product delivers, like, stick within, reduce your supply numbers. Believe me, it makes your life so much easier. And there's benefits to having products that all link together from an integrations point of view, from an API point of view, from a cost, from a customer success point of view, from a training point of view. It makes life so much easier. I think they did actually take my advice, and I was very pleased about that. But you don't need 25 suppliers. I generally think you'd be better off to have half and then really make the most of it. So when you're doing your monthly or quarterly reviews with these clients, with your suppliers, it is so much easier. And if you've got suppliers who already you use, you've already vetted, you trust them, you like them, hopefully, and it does make such a difference. You don't end up then having a product that just isn't going to deliver what you need. So yeah, I would agree with you on all of those lessons. So what we've kind of said so far is make sure the implementation is there and really drive it forward. Use support where possible, because you're paying for those resources. Check your email deliverability, and like try and buy stuff from existing suppliers and expand those accounts, because it does make life just that little bit easier for you. Absolutely brilliant. So alongside of this, do you have any interesting data points that you can share with us about kind of what everyone has been up to or not up to, as the case may be?
I do, and these are fresh off the press as well.
Drum roll.
So obviously there's a lot of what SourceWhale does, but I always like to get my teeth into like outreach processes more than anything else. So let's talk about business development to start with. So I'm going to talk about, well, we always talk about this MMQQ approach here at SourceWhale, which basically means having a multi-touch, multi-channel, high quality, high quantity outreach process, which is
Can
where
you
our
say that
campaigns
again?
really
So
help.
multi-touch,
Yeah, follow-ups.
multi-channel,
Yeah,
quality. What was the last one?
quantity.
Quantity. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna write that
Exactly.
down. I will use that. MMQQ. Brilliant. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Whenever I look at anyone's campaign, I have those 4 things in my mind because even if someone's missing just one of those things, they could be missing some opportunities. So I will
Interesting.
start off basically with the multi-touch aspect. So from a business development perspective, which is how my brain works more than anything, we've seen that the optimal number of steps to have in a campaign or in a sequence is 9 steps. So 9
Okay.
steps in there. From a candidate perspective, it's 6 steps. This is across all industries, all geographies, across all of the campaigns that we've analysed, which is millions of touch points through SourceWhale.
And does it? I don't know if you have this, and like, don't worry if not. Like, I'm guessing that's not 9 steps, 9 consecutive days. From a quality and quantity point of view, are you suggesting that's put over like a 2-3 week period, for example?
Yes, exactly. So on the business development standpoint, we recommend doing it over 22 days. And
Okay.
then on the candidate side, it's 16 days. I say we recommend, this is literally what the data has told us when we've analysed every single campaign that goes through SourceWhale. But also you're probably thinking, God, 9, like you said, back-to-back emails, that's going to be a nightmare. It's not all emails. Like I said, we have to have a multi-channel approach. So LinkedIn, emails, phone calls, any channel you use to get creative, like WhatsApp works really well in some industries, SMS, whatever that looks like. And we actually saw that people using 3 channels as opposed to just 1, like email, it actually doubled the amount of meetings they were able to book because they were using those different channels available to them.
I'm not surprised at all. And like, we've had numerous conversations. I spoke to Ben about this and Josh a few weeks ago. Like it, and I think it's so easy to go, oh yeah, obviously omni-channel. Well, we call them and we email, but not everybody opens their emails. Not everyone answers the phone. I
Yeah.
really believe that third one, whether that is for us, it's YouTube. For you, it could be TikTok for what you do. Could be WhatsApp. It's finding where your candidates are. Now, I am very, very, very lucky that all of our target clients, and the same to you, Emily, they're all on LinkedIn all the time. So one of our business values and one of our outreaches is LinkedIn because that's where our recruiters are. However, if you were recruiting nurses in the NHS or builders, they're not going to be sitting on LinkedIn 24 hours a day. So it's a very different approach. And what I always kind of say to people is you need to work out where these people are. Like,
Yeah.
we've got a client who does a very large amount of Facebook campaigns, which I find fascinating because who does that in 2025? But it is essential for what they do. Their business wouldn't work without it. And they bring the leads in. We then do stuff on automation and WhatsApp, and it works a treat. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work for someone else. So it's really important to understand where your people are and then the best way to communicate with them. Either apart from email, WhatsApp, is there any other unusual channels that you guys have seen recently that have really worked?
Not particularly. We do have one of our channels called like a general task. So if it prompts you to like go and comment on something they posted about or send them a voice note, whatever that is. I've not seen anyone do like handwritten letters or anything like that, anything crazy.
Well,
But
maybe next year's the year. Let's give it a go.
maybe next year's the
Handwritten
year.
letters. You heard it here first. Believe it or not, that was one of my first ever tasks to do when I joined recruitment. So we're not even that long ago, 2017, 2016. And he said, right, we need to do handwritten letters for everybody. And my handwriting, you don't want to see it. It's dreadful. We got someone to do it, and it did actually make a really big difference because people didn't have that,
Something
and I think that's
different.
so lovely to do. Why not? Everyone loves a bit of post. I always open it just in case it's something exciting. It never is.
Another bill. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. No, that's really interesting. So we're going to do from what we've learned, 9 steps for a BD campaign over 22 days. And if it was a candidate, 6 steps over 16 days. And ideally, each of them will be on sort of 3 different channels. Now,
Yeah.
for me, that actually sounds really achievable. That's not really complicated. You just need to have a process and map that out and see if it works for you guys. Fantastic. I love that. Any other bits of data you want to share?
Yes, tying into more of the work that you guys do. So we actually found I get asked quite a lot, how many people should I add to these campaigns? And sometimes I'll go in, they'll have like 2,000 people in one campaign. My deliverability hat's going crazy. I'm like, guys, no. But it's a very good question because your outreach might be quite similar each time. But we actually found that having around 100 people in these campaigns tripled the amount of meetings booked they got, as opposed to having over 300 people. So 100 is the optimum that we advise for, but that comes from targeting the right people that hopefully will respond to you. Again, helping with deliverability, which is always my mind nowadays. But yeah, finding the right people, whether they're on your database, whether that's a search outside of that, whatever that looks like, it's so important reaching out to the right people rather than that spray and pray approach that some people tend to go for.
And that's it. And if we're looking at a campaign for 100, 150 people, and in that you need to WhatsApp, call, email, do some stuff on LinkedIn. If you've got to triple that, if you have to triple that and you've suddenly got that for 300 people, that's then a very different task. You're then having to spend your time doing that. Well, not constantly, but having less people who you really know, you can see their engagement. It's in theory, yeah, I can totally see why kind of less people would convert. And fundamentally, my opinion is it's probably better to have less is more who are really, really targeted. So then your content is bang on perfect rather than a load of people who you think are right, but still aren't 100% sure. So that's a great
Exactly.
fact. So 100 people, tripling the results. I love that. Fantastic.
Yeah. Exactly. And look, if your market's bigger than that, brilliant. But duplicate that campaign and make it more specific and then niche down within your whole market as well.
Interesting. And when we're kind of saying like the success or like we've got the results and they've tripled, what specifically are we measuring? Like meetings booked, successful campaigns, what sort of thing?
Yeah, for us, it's always like meetings booked is like the
Fine.
goal of a campaign. Interested, great, but it could mean they're interested in like 3 months' time. Meetings booked means we've got time in the diary. We're going to meet with this person, whether it's in person, on a Zoom or a Teams, whatever that is. You've got like next steps in the diary booked, and that is like an automatic conversion.
That is without a doubt the way forward. One thing that I will say, and I'm sure you guys are hot on this as well, if you have any campaigns going that are live, you might want to pause them over Christmas. We've got a fair few clients who we do live campaigns for that are always running. And I've said to them, just to confirm, do you want your candidates to get an email on Christmas Day when they're sitting up for their Christmas lunch? Probably not. So if you don't want that, pause them so you don't have any negative stuff go out over Christmas. So come back in January, start again, and then you don't have a backlog of stuff to do either.
Yeah, brilliant idea. Like any other tech, definitely make sure it's paused. We do pause it automatically for any bank holidays in your country already.
Great.
But yeah, if you're using anything else, definitely make sure it's paused.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, there we go. Little quick tip. Any other bits of information? I mean, any other data points you want to share?
I mean, I can bang this drum all day long. 66% of all meetings booked came from the phone. So picking up the phone, calling your clients, calling your candidates, tend to get the next step booked in the diary.
66. That honestly, that doesn't surprise me at all, and that's one of the things that I've seen on not specific to SourceWhale campaigns, but general campaigns overall. Over the last few months, I've seen email, and it great. That's fantastic. Or LinkedIn message. This is a people game, and we need to pick up the phone and we need to engage with those people. And I think sometimes we forget that is a fantastic level of outreach, and not everybody is going to answer first time, but please do try and dial and move things along, because you're right, it does make such a difference. And I always find it really interesting, like how many messages I get on LinkedIn and email and how nobody calls me. Last week, I actually got a cold call from a company but who thought I was still in my old job, even though I left nearly 3 years ago. But I was also a bit like, do you know what? Fair play for giving me a call, because no, like I'm the owner of a business and no one ever calls me. which means if you do,
Interesting.
I will probably answer, because I'm never sure if it's a lead, if it's a client, what have you. So I always answer, and I'm fairly nice to people. But it's definitely always worth doing. Picking up that phone, I think, is absolutely crucial. And if it's going to increase your chances of getting that meeting by 66%, then that's not something I would fail to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. That is all of my stats. That's all my fun facts I brought for today.
Interesting. Well, we've had a couple of questions through. Someone has asked us where we're from. Hello. So Emily and I both live in the UK. Emily, whereabouts are you based?
I'm based in London, but born and bred in Cornwall, so in the southwest. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I don't think so.
I didn't know that. There we go. And I live in Reading, just outside of London. But as I said earlier on, we have, and same with SourceWhale. SourceWhale's got, whereabouts are your offices at the moment? London
In
and
Shoreditch, yeah.
Shoreditch. And have you got one in New York or somewhere in America?
We don't actually. We have a big remote team in the US, but no permanent office at the moment.
There we go. So yeah, we're all spread around, as is quite a large amount of our clients. I know that we both do stuff globally, which is always really interesting as well. So going into our final bit of chitty chatty before we get on to wrapping this up and then finishing off the year on a high, do you have any other tips, things that you worked for you that you want to share with everybody?
Sure. I mean, just talking about like rec tech automation is obviously what our background is. I think there is so much opportunity now with how quickly tech has developed to save everybody time. Like even trying to book meetings in with like some of my clients being recruiters, Emily, I've got no time, like completely understand it. But I wonder how much of your day is going to be all this like admin tasks that you have. Like, are you making the most of the tech that is out there or the tech you already subscribe to? So that's just one thing I really want everyone to focus on next year is like, if you're doing a boring admin-based task, there's probably tech out there that can help you. And please go and have a look at it. It will save you a headache. You'll have more time back in the day to do the fun bit of recruitment, some might argue, like the actual speaking to candidates, clients, the more revenue-generating part of recruitment as well. So that's one thing I think everyone should really look into. You mentioned the note taker. Oh my gosh, how much time that I've saved from having a note taker on calls rather than writing everything down and writing it in the CRM is been a big game changer. So that's one of my key parts.
I don't know what I'd do without our note taker anymore. And the fact that then I can really listen to calls with clients is life changing for us as a business, because no longer do we have to kind of sit there and I'm scrabbling notes on a piece of paper. That's not efficient anymore, is it? And we're in an industry and an environment where stuff happens quickly, and turnover can be high sometimes, and we need to make sure that the next person who's going to deal with that role, that job, that candidate is fully equipped. So lots more tech being used in the right way, and hopefully that's going to be our message well into the new year as well, which I fully agree with. So Emily, if people want to know a bit more about what you guys do at SourceWhale or want to get in touch with you or follow you on TikTok, what is the best way for them to reach out?
Well, on TikTok, yes, I'm called @recruitmentsecrets, so I'll be telling some secrets on TikTok. And then, feel free to connect with me and message me on LinkedIn. I can point you in the right direction. If it's someone else, like the new business team, we can get in touch with, or I'm more than happy to talk about these things all day long and chew your ear off your current client or a new client, anything like that.
Well, look, thank you so much for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure to chat with you as usual. I'm going to go this afternoon and review the campaigns that we have live, because I'm definitely thinking we don't have 9 steps to some of those. So thank you for teaching something to me. As usual, if anyone has any questions or comments after this, please reach out to Emily or I, or add something into the comments on this video, and then we will get back to you shortly. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoy the rest of 2025, and I'm sure we'll be back sometime in very early 2026. Thank you, and thank you, Emily, for joining. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Bye, Holly.
Bye.